Tonight on Cronkite News, a special hearing at the state capitol today, debating freedom of speech at public universities.
Plus, a record-breaking day when it comes to the heat here in the valley. We'll tell you how long these extreme temps will stick around.
And what Sun Devil football fans can expect from first-year head coach Kenny Dillingham. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Bree Pacelli.
And I'm Adrian Carbajal. Thank you for joining us.
Some members of the AZ state legislature were back at work at the Capitol today for a special hearing to discuss freedom of expression at Arizona's public university. However, the main topic of conversation was the Lewis Center at ASU.
The center became part of a contentious debate after an event in February of this year that included conservative speakers Charlie Kirk and Dennis Prager. Alexandria Cullen was at the hearing today and tells us what lawmakers hope to accomplish with the hearing.
I'm standing in the First Amendment Forum of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Today, Arizona lawmakers questioned whether or not free speech is being fairly applied on ASU's campus. Today, we heard from ASU representatives, as well as people who attended the event in February, alongside a former ASU employee who claimed she was fired due to the event. More than 36 faculty members wrote a letter in protest of an ASU event back in February. The event, titled Health, Wealth, and Happiness, stirred enough debate that it ultimately led to the T.W. Lewis Center for Personal Development closing after its main benefactor pulled its funding. The former executive director for the T.W. Lewis Center, Ann Atkinson, said she was fired after the center's closing and claims ASU isn't telling the entire story about the pressure surrounding the event.
ASU failed to mention the deans also warned me that the speakers must not talk, quote, about higher education or anything that could be deemed as political or turned into a political platform, end quote. This was an obvious threat or trap because in today's environment, is there anything remaining that is not considered political?
ASU Vice Provost Dr. Patrick Kenny told the committee that the university is committed to freedom of speech for both faculty, staff, and students.
The First Amendment and freedom of expression is critically important to the foundation and values of our great nation. This freedom is something that should be protected and upheld at every turn. Arizona State University is committed in practice, not just rhetoric, to all things that support free speech.
Kenny showed committee members other examples of conservative speakers at ASU and noted that the event in question was successful and garnered a large audience both in person and online. Senator Anthony Kern acknowledged that ASU is generally good about free speech and representation of all beliefs. However, he and other committee members still had questions about the future of ASU's commitment to open dialogue. Kern is asking that ASU submit any concerns they may have to the Judiciary Committee within 60 days. From the downtown campus, I'm Alexandria Cullen, Cronkite News.
The other big story today, the heat. Of course, it's always hot in July in Arizona, but today we broke a record. Daniel Pike joins us now from the Weather Center to explain.
Yeah, Bree, we have broken the record. 19 straight days of a high over 110 degrees. 112 right now, 106 later on. We're going to get to 20 as tomorrow around 3-4 o'clock. It's 115 degrees. It does cool off a little bit to 110. And tomorrow, look at that, 8 a.m., 98 degrees. Even at 8 a.m., it's still going to be really hot. Stay tuned to the full forecast to find out how monsoon season is approaching and how hot it's going to get the rest of the week.
In the midst of this heat, many Arizona students will be going back to school. Some of them to dual language programs, which up until recently were unsure whether they would be able to continue.
But in a recent legal opinion, Attorney General Chris Mays says the Superintendent of Public Instruction does not have the authority to withdraw funding from schools offering dual language programs. Debate over these programs goes back over 20 years. In 2000, Arizona voters passed Proposition 203, which limited bilingual education and made English immersion programs the focus for students who don't speak English. In 2019, the Arizona legislature approved new dual language programs that let children study both English and other languages, such as Spanish or Navajo. Since taking office as Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Horn has questioned the legality of these approved dual language programs for some students.
So the best thing for the students is to learn English quickly than to go into the regular classroom and succeed academically and then succeed in the economy. If they're stuck in dual language and they don't learn English, they're going to fail in the economy. So my concern is, number one, obviously following the law, but number two, what's the best for the students? And what's best for the students, is, as shown by the data, is structured English immersion.
In the wake of Attorney General May's decision, the State Board of Education says they will keep all approved models for instructing English learners, including the dual language model.
Arizona Diamondbacks games will no longer be on Bally Sports effective immediately. A bankruptcy judge ruled today in favor of Diamond Sports Group, who owns Bally, to sever its agreement with the D-backs. Diamond Sports claims it's been losing significant amounts of money on the deal. Remaining games this season can be watched on Cox, DirecTV, DirecTV Stream, Spectrum, Comcast, Xfinity, Fubo, and MLB TV. In June, with Major League Baseball taking control, the D-backs say their market reach will expand from approximately 930,000 homes to 5.6 million homes across the state. The Diamondbacks' primary TV broadcasters will continue to call games for the rest of the season.
There are officially 44 more days until Arizona State's first football game. Head coach Kenny Dillingham spoke in a press conference on Monday about what to expect. Cronkite reporter Aaron Patterson joins us in the newsroom with more details.
That's right, Bree. It will be Coach Dillingham's first year as head coach for the Sun Devils. He spoke about his recruiting philosophy, how he plans to make a name for himself as a first-year head coach, and what he believes is the most important thing when recruiting an athlete.
I have a passion for this place. When people walk into this building, they better have a pride in it. They better have a passion about it. And that's what we keep the main thing when we talk and recruit is, do you want to be here? Do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to be a part of something that could be special?
So far in the 2024 class, Dillingham has landed 17 recruits, 14 of them being 3 stars. Dillingham said he realizes NIL now takes up 75 to 80% of recruiting. But to him, it's not his main focus when speaking with the athletes.
There's no tricks, there's no gimmicks, there's no promises. In the world of NIL, there's zero NIL talk at all, because I want people who want to be here.
Dillingham says he wants to give the players a platform to grow. He feels that his job as a coach is to help them grow in life, but it's the players' job to put in the work and grow in the sport.
Most people say in year one is, oh, we're selling the vision. The difference is I don't sell. I don't say, if you come here, you're going to accomplish this, because in reality, I can tell you what I've done in the past and what our offense has done in the past, but anybody who comes to this program is going to have to work their butt off. And the level of success they have is not based off of what I do, it's based off of what they do.
ASU begins its fall camp July 31st. They will take a trip back to Camp Tontozona at the beginning of August for the first time since 2019. All of this will be preparation for their first game against Southern Utah on August 31st. In the newsroom, Aaron Patterson, Cronkite News.
The WNBA is growing and several current players are leading the charge. After the break, find out what they have in store and how it'll supplement player salaries.
And a little later, a shocking number of the elderly here in the Valley are struggling with food insecurity. We'll meet the people at one community center working to change that.
When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
My heart is racing right now. Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things. Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people.
I've got history.
No. I wish my mom could be here to see this.
Amazing. It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
WNBA All-Star Weekend was back in Vegas for the third time, and I was on hand for all of the festivities. There were many storylines coming out of the weekend, and we'll start with the 9-time All-Star Brittney Griner's big return to the game that had the fans excited.
I love you, Brittney.
Fans from all around the country flocked to Vegas this past weekend to watch the WNBA's best put on a show. David Graves and Bertha Mosley came all the way from Georgia just to watch their favorite player, Brittney Griner, make her return to one of the sport's biggest events.
We support Brittney Griner because she's been through a terrible ordeal. We're glad she's back home.
The excitement, the stars, you know, Brittney here. So I had to come out and come see her.
While the crowd was electric and the fans were happy to see Brittney back on the court, it was her teammates that felt the impact of her return the most.
I mean, I think looking back to last year, especially at the All-Star and really throughout the entire season, it was like, you know, there's a void in the WNBA, and there's something that's missing, and that was BG. It's incredible to have her here, obviously to have her sitting next to me, to have her on my team. That was like my number one.
Griner herself admitted that she didn't think she would be back on this stage a year ago, but she was happy to be back on the court surrounded by so much love.
It's a whole vibe, honestly, just being here, the interactions, you know, from playing against each other, playing with each other overseas. I'm happy that I'm with Stewie and I'm with Sloot. You know, our season got kind of cut short, you know, my last time overseas with everything that happened. So just being able to be back on the court with them, you know, again, that's going to be fun.
Griner jokingly said that she hoped her All-Star numbers would be better than last year's, and she definitely delivered in this one, finishing the game with 18 points, 13 rebounds, and she even threw down 2 monster dunks. Now with 2023 over with, we're already looking ahead to 2024. And good news for fans in the Valley because next year's All-Star Game will be held here in Phoenix. It was a festive atmosphere at the Footprint Center for the official announcement yesterday. This is the first time in a decade that the Mercury will host the All-Star Game and is sure to be an all-out party. The Mercury, as well as the city of Phoenix, are looking to make this All-Star Game the very best one yet.
It's a celebration of these amazing women athletes. It's a celebration of what the W has become. And one thing you know about us is when we do something, we raise the ceiling on it. So those who may have seen it in Vegas or have been here in 2014, the level we're going to take this to is something the W has never seen.
At the end of the day, it's for this city. It's for how much this city loves basketball. This community is so tight-knit. We're a big city, but it has a small hometown feel. You know, we have everything the big cities have, but we have heart, and that's what sets it apart.
Diana Taurasi also said that she has a year left on her contract and will honor that. And if she were here for the All-Star festivities next year, she will, quote, do the three-point contest, skills challenge, beer pong, whatever they need me to do. And we're not done with the W just yet. Last week's announcement of the unrivaled league, spearheaded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, sparked discussions about travel and the growth of women's basketball. Over the All-Star weekend, players and league officials talked about what is still needed for this league to come to fruition, as well as the support and excitement that's coming along with it.
The response has been great. A lot of people have reached out to me, players, staff, people that want to invest.
But just talking to people, gauging like their interests and things like that, and everyone's been really positive. Everyone wants to be a part of it, which is great to hear.
One of those players showing support is the Mercury's own Brittney Griner. After her detainment in Russia last year, she's excited about the new league taking place here in the U.S.
Oh, well, I'm never going back overseas, so it's safe to say I will be here. If I'm playing in it or if I'm just being there supporting, I'll definitely be around it, though. I think it's amazing what they're doing.
The WNBA is also excited about this new venture, and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is hoping this will expand the game of women's basketball.
I think it's great that the players are thinking through these type of things that they want to do in their off season. We'll definitely support it from a marketing, because we want to kind of become the center of women's basketball, not just during our season, but all year round.
The new league is a 3-on-3 format and aims to compensate their players with salaries similar to what they would earn playing in the WNBA. The board of the league also had a meeting this past weekend to get the league up and running. but there's still no official start date.
Coming up next, hear from a fencing family spanning generations. How this family got their start and what's keeping them winning next. And we've seen temps over the 110-degree mark for weeks, but brace yourself for temps near 120. Your weather forecast is coming up after the break.
Different about you, a new brightness in your eyes.
Welcome to the Hotel Portofino.
How utterly charming.
Something is coming, can you feel it now?
My dreams have been invigorated.
We like stories that are going to elevate us.
Feel it now.
What is your sense now of the situation?
Something is coming.
They gave us possibilities.
This is the opportunity to share my recipes.
Everywhere you look.
You're going deep into the heart of America.
The Holocaust is a story that Americans have to reckon with, too.
This is pure exploration.
Wow!
I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
There are not many sports where you find an entire family involved, but at the 2023 USA Fencing Summer Nationals, it was a family affair for the Changs.
From the eldest at age 84 to the youngest at age 9, Enrique Rupert has more on the Chang family, who not only competes together, but wins together.
The Chang family were out in their numbers at the 2023 Summer Nationals, as Fritz, Heidi, Ava, and Parker all competed. Fritz Chang, the oldest member in the family and the oldest fencer at the Nationals, still competes at 84 in the Vet 80 category.
Well, I'm retired. I have nothing else to do, so this is a good thing to keep me busy and keep me healthy. So I don't play golf, I don't play baseball, I don't play basketball. Fencing is the way to go.
Fritz introduced fencing to his children when they were in their teens, and they all gravitated towards the sport. This included his daughter Heidi Chang, who was inspired by her family to pick up the sport after some Nerf fencing wins against her siblings.
I was really inspired or badgered by my brothers. We used to fence a lot of Nerf fencing in the hallway at home. They'd already had a year or two of fencing. My dad had already been fencing for some time. And I decided, you know what, I'm beating them at the Nerf fencing in the hallway. Maybe this is a signal that maybe I could try the sport.
And the sport worked out well for Heidi, as she became a Hall of Fame fencer at Wellesley College and now a national champion in the veteran women's team épée. In addition to her success on the strip, Heidi's 12-year-old daughter Ava Budman now fences, but there's no pressure on her to carry on any of the family's legacy.
When I was younger, I would do it every year, for a week at my grandparents' fencing camp, and then I started to take more classes. And then once I got to a higher level, in intermediate instead of beginner, I started to try a little harder.
The most successful member of the Chang family, however, is Greg Chang. In 2004, he made the United States Olympic fencing team, an accomplishment he has always dreamed of. While he doesn't compete anymore, Greg shows up to support his entire family, including his 9-year-old son, Parker.
It's great. I love that he loves fencing, and it's so exciting for me that he gets to experience the sport and the ups and downs and make friends from around the country. So I'm just thrilled that he's here and he loves fencing also.
The family jokes that they can always talk fencing at the dinner table, but most importantly, their shared passion uplifts them, as it's a tradition they want to keep alive for many years to come.
Really special to be able to have the multiple generations experience this, and hopeful that this can continue on too.
In Phoenix, Enrique Rupert, Cronkite News.
Turning to the weather now, we're in the midst of a heat wave, but is there an end in sight?
I couldn't tell you, but lucky for us, Daniel Pike joins us now from the Weather Center to answer that very question.
Yeah, it is really hot, but indeed there is no clouds tonight in Phoenix. Down in Tucson, however, we do have a little bit of rain. Tomorrow morning it clears up in Tucson, and nothing going on in Phoenix until tomorrow night when the clouds are back in the valley. And look at all this rain area going on in Tucson. Speaking of clouds though, yesterday we had a dust storm and it was quite a sight to be seen. The orange sky was out, the wind was blowing, and the dust was everywhere. I actually got to watch it from my window, and although I was being safe, it was quite a sight to see. If you see something like this going on, get inside as soon as you can, because it is very, very dangerous. And now for the low temperatures tomorrow, 91 degrees in Phoenix, 57 degrees in Flagstaff, and 86 in Yuma. For the highs, look at this purple we got going on. 117 degrees in the valley is really, really hot. The heat keeps coming. 8 straight days of it, in fact, ahead. On Friday, 118 degrees. For your full 8-day forecast, look at the clouds. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the cloud action is here, meaning that maybe that's the best time to go outside, go for a walk, or read a book. A cloud in this summer? No complaints from me. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Daniel Pike.
A lot of adults ages 60 and older are facing the threat of hunger, forcing them to eat less or skip vital meals.
Cronkite reporter Ariana Ariza paid a visit to a new center in Sun City, helping to fix the problem.
For 5 days a week, Banner Olive Senior Center is a main food source for many retired seniors. The center's cafeteria provides a free nutritious meal. There's also a food pantry that allows seniors to fill up one bag of groceries to take home.
It's available to people who can't afford to go to it. The grocery has gotten very expensive, and it's good for people that they are able to come here and get stuff that they need.
According to Banner Health, the center's different food programs serve 120,000 meals annually. They also reported that from July 2020 through September 2021, the food pantry saw more than 25,800 visits. Dawn Gilau is the center's director, and she says many depend on the pantry.
We're actually allowing you to come in and shop for the items that are important to you. Food is medicine concept. You know, if you can eat a healthy meal, it really does support your overall health and wellness.
Walter Sabara is a familiar face at the center.
Yeah, because I meet a lot of people here. It's good socializing. The food is good. The pantry is good. It's available, and I enjoy it.
All of the food is donated from local nonprofits and grocery stores. Sabara says the center offers more than just a free meal and groceries.
It's like family after a while. You get to know people of different cultures, of different areas where they lived. You know, I'm from Chicago, I'm from St. Louis, and it's interesting to hear what they got to say about their hometown.
According to the United Health Foundation, 12.8% of Arizona seniors live with food insecurity. That's above the national average. In this senior center, they're tackling senior hunger one meal at a time. In Sun City, Ariana Ariza, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, a sailor and his dog are rescued after months lost at sea.
It's an amazing story. Find out just how they survived for all that time while drifting in the middle of the Pacific.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been. It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage.
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
An Australian sailor is lucky to be alive after he and his dog disappeared at sea.
They had been adrift for more than 3 months, but were just rescued in international waters by a crew on board a Mexican tuna boat. Timothy Shattuck and his dog Bella were found in the Pacific Ocean over the weekend, 1,200 miles from land. They had set sail from La Paz in Mexico, bound for French Polynesia way back in April. But the Australian network 9 News says his ship was damaged by a storm shortly after they departed. And Timothy and Bella reportedly survived for months on just raw fish and rainwater. Despite the rough conditions, Timothy and Bella are doing just fine. They're expected to arrive back on dry land in Mexico sometime today.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thanks for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.